show you this book that I've shown in my previous video, what this book is all about. Now this is a ledger book. That was the back side and this is the front. This right here, I have wrapped the book in such a way that it creates pockets. It created 2 pockets right here. This is inspired by the Kin community video. As you can see, I have some bills here and a sticky note with some expenses that I have already paid. What this is all about is from the last few months, I have not made any cosmetic purchases because I'm trying to save up money and I'm trying to track down the expenses that I make each month. This is one of the ways that I'm trying to do it with. I'm trying to keep a book or notebook or like this. This is a ledger book, and trying to keep track of those expenses by jotting down each expenses in this book. Let me show you what a ledger book looks like. For the accounting student, I'm quite sure that you're familiar with this ledger book. There's a date, description of the transaction, and then debit, credit, as well as balance. If you're not very familiar with accounting, I'll just give you a brief introduction to it. If you have withdrawn some money from your ATM account, you can put it as a cash in your ledger book and you put it as a debit. And then for those expenses related to that withdrawal, for example, you went out for lunch, so you put there, you know, how much you went out for lunch, where it was, so that you can at least keep track of it. And at the end of the day, you can match the balance in your ledger book as well as the balance in your wallet or your purse. The first step is to understand or to find out what are my fixed expenses. So those fixed expenses are, let's say for example, like your rental, your housing loan installment, your car installment, phone bills, your electricity bills, your water bills, your internet bills. For petrol, it might be a little bit tricky in order to track down because sometimes you have to travel a lot more certain months and then less on the other month, so you have to take an average of the two. But usually what I would do is I would take the highest amount so that, you know, it makes me feel a little bit better. I underspent there. That's what you do first. Find out your fixed expenses. I'm not saying that I'm already an expert in doing this or even I have, you know, saved a lot of money with this method, but I'm still trying and I'm still experimenting, and I just want to track down what my expenses are for each month. I'm not a professional financial planner or, you know, anything in that category. I'm just trying to help out those out there who are having difficulties in order to understand what their expenses are each month. These fixed expenses that doesn't fluctuate, that is very constant every month. If you are spending 30 ringgit per month for your data plan, that is your fixed expenses. And then if you are paying for your mortgage, that is your fixed expenses. The water and the electricity bill, you can always estimate. Once you have that down, you need to find out what's your variable expenses. For variable expenses, it could be from your car maintenance, your car insurance, and then probably if you want to change your tires, not to say every year that you're doing it, but this would happen maybe years once. So you can estimate that those are your variable expenses. It doesn't happen on a monthly basis, but it does happen maybe quarterly or even a yearly basis, like the car insurance and road tax. Those are things that happens on a yearly basis. So have that as well. So those are your variable expenses, and the next month you have to pay for your road tax and insurance. You're not surprised. That's the reason why I'm saying you need to understand your expenses very well. So keep track of your variable expenses, find out how much it costs. Use this year as a guide. Now for the nitty-gritty expenses. Once you have withdrawn your money, you need to keep all the receipts from the purchases you've made with that money. You need to really keep track of it. Even if the purchase is just a cup of coffee, you need to put that in as well. By the end of the month, you can analyze where you're spending your money more. For example, if you're spending a lot more on Starbucks, so you need to spend less there. Or even if you're spending more on makeup, that's the first place that you need to cut down. For credit cards, it's the same thing. Say for example, for the month of October, you can use 2 or 3 pages of this in order to keep track of your cash as well as credit card balances or transactions. That's the only way for you to keep track and then for you to save up at the end of the day. As you can see, I do have an envelope here. This is where I store all of my receipts. For me, that's the only way to track all my expenses. It is very tedious and it requires a lot of dedication. For the first month, you think that it is so tedious and so time consuming to do this kind of things. But after the second and the third month, it gets very exciting to see that you are spending less on the things that you used to spend on.